Alright, the next section I'm going to do is form. Form is when you have an object that's three-dimensional. So instead of a square, you have a cube, and instead of a circle, you have a sphere. So I just had to raise that up a little bit. There wasn't enough room. And form is all about how you do some shading. So the first thing I'm doing there is I'm shading in the cylinder, and you can see how I added the pencil to the outside only, and then I smudged it with my finger to blend it towards the middle. When you shade in a cube, you do the three sides should each be a slightly different color. So you'll have a dark side, a light side, and a medium side. So the right side's the dark side, the one facing you is the medium, and then top. Spheres are the hardest part to draw, and you can see how I kind of divided up into lines again. I just smudged it so you can't even tell anything, but you'll have a light area and then a kind of a swath across the bottom middle. That is the dark area, and then you have the ground shadow. And it's always good to have that line of, instead of, by adding that line and then darkening the top, I made the shape pop out, and I gave it kind of a place to sit on. And then I'll just erase that first line I did. It wasn't in a good spot. The ground shadows are important because it grounds your object, but the sphere especially, spheres always have that reflective light area, so the ground shadow makes them pop out. But it puts it on the ground. And they should all be kind of going away from where the light probably is sitting. And the last shape I'm going to do is just kind of a blob shape, and basically you have a light side and a dark side, and it's not going to be as defined an area. These are harder type of thing to draw. So, but you can see I've got the darker over on the edge, and then I'll use the eraser to lighten it up a little bit, and then I add the darker ground shadow. So that's form. And I smudged, the edge of my hand ended up making a big smudge mark on the paper, so I just erased it because this is where I'm going to start with the color. One thing you do need to add in color section is you need to add a complete color wheel. That's the 6 main colors, which are the primary colors and the secondary colors. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue, and the secondary colors are orange, green, and purple. So I added red, orange. You get mixed when you add red and yellow, so that's why it sits between. I just demonstrated that I put a little piece of paper. I kept smudging the paper more with my hand, so I've now put a piece of paper underneath my hand, and it will keep it from smudging. So, and the color wheel after yellow comes green, and then blue. I'm actually doing a slight gradation by making it lighter as it gets away from the center. It's darker and then it gets lighter. And I'm bringing it up behind where the letters are. So normally in a regular color wheel that would be the end. You'd have just 6 colors, but since I didn't space it very well, I had too much room, so now I have to keep going, and I kind of just start winging it from here, and I just add other colors. What I'm doing here is I'm doing the opposite. The complementary color of red is green, the complementary color of purple is yellow, so, and then I'm adding blue, and then I'll add the complementary color, which is orange. So I just kind of did random colors at this point. You can do the same thing. I like using the centered diamond as color because color's fun to do, and it's somewhat easy. So you can choose to do the same thing. It's up to you. And what I end up doing here is doing a double color wheel because I had that extra space. So, but it all should always be in that order. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then back to red. And I'm just filling in the different gaps now. And then I want to do something with the letters themselves. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually doing a blend of the 2 colors together. So I added this one here. I'm going to do a blend to yellow, green, blue, and you can see how I did the yellow, then the green, then the blue. Now I'm going to go back in and blend it by taking the color and going into the colors next to it. That one didn't come out as good, but that's a blue to purple blend. The first one looked good though, the orange to yellow. And now I'm just filling in the rest of the gaps for the color section. Now it's just gonna, I'm just going through and filling the colors back in. One thing I'm running into a problem right there is I've got the colors are too similar to each other. You don't want to do like orange or red and red next to each other and stuff. So I think I go in and darken up in there. Yeah, see how I outline right there because you couldn't see the difference. So when you're doing your color sections, make sure you're not blending it so that whatever that central word or image is lost completely. And like I said, if you wanted to do a continual theme over, like you could have done I could have wrote quarantine all in pink or something. That I chose here to make it fit within the confines of whatever I was doing, but you don't have to do that. So now I'm just going through and fixing everything and making sure everything works as a full picture. So I've done each of the different sections, and now I'm going through and I'm like, it needed more color in other spots, so I am adding color to shape now, and I added some, finished some of the other letters too. So I'm coloring in the different shape parts. I don't need to go do everything, but just adding a little bit of color makes it look nicer. Color in the background. And some of the letters. And now I'm going to add some color over to where I've got space. Make it have like grass type. If you guys are having trouble with the space, this is the trickiest section to do. When I meet with you in the live class this coming week, I will do another demonstration, or maybe I'll make another video of just space, just to clarify, because I went through that very quickly, and that is a really hard one to do. That's definitely the most hard one to do. So I'll probably help you out with that one. So I'm just outlining stuff, going over the buildings. You'll notice that the houses are now cubes, so I did them like a dark side and a light side, just like I did the other ones. And the roof I just left separate. So I ended up doing basically a diagonal going across the middle of color, and it just makes it. So there you go, the finished picture I did today. I actually like some of the ones that you saw in the beginning, and I'll show them again in a minute, that some of my past students have done better than this one. This one didn't come out as well as I hoped it would, but I expect you guys to do even better than me. This is just an example. I want you to go on, do better stuff. So these are some of the projects that some of my past students have done. These were all done by the kids that are now sophomores, 10th graders. And each one of them is designed basically the same as what I just showed you. It's got the 7 sections, and each section is a different element of art. A lot of these kids, they combine them, so it might be form, but it will also be space and value and shape and stuff like that. So it might be a little hard to tell which is which. This one here, Jordan's, is pretty clear. It's actually designed very similar to the one that I did. But you can be more tricky than that, or you can make it simple. It's up to you. You just need to show that you understand what the different elements are and how you illustrate them. That is the most important part. I don't have any examples of people not using the traditional word, but like I said before, you're welcome to do that. So have fun, good luck, be creative.